Hey, Devin, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, you guys, man. How you doing?
We're doing good. Are you as sick as I am when it comes to talking about number 12 on the Buccaneers?
No, I mean, we've been a little different here, man. We've been focusing, obviously, on him, but I would say overall it's Tampa as a team. So it's not, I don't think it's the same as, outside the building where, everyone's just talking about Tom's return. We've been just trying to study and get prepared on this whole team and the problems that they've caused people really over the last year and the beginning of this season.
We were just listening to the expert analysis of one O.J. Simpson on this program, and O.J. suggested that when it comes to Super Bowls and the success that this franchise has had, that oftentimes the defense is overlooked. Does that bother you? Do you feel that same way sometimes, that you don't look at those looking from the outside at the last 19 years here, don't give enough credit to the defense?
I mean, honestly, I haven't even been thinking about that, I would say over this last week. I mean, I think we've really just got to focus on this game, not kind of fall into the trap of, what Tom's done here and the success he's had over the last 19 years, 22 years, whatever you want to call it. I think for most of the guys on the team, they haven't been here long enough to even, play with Tom for a long time or be a part of those Super Bowl years. So to me, we just got to kind of focus on this 2021 Patriots team and stay away from everything that has gone into this week, kind of including stuff like that.
Devin, when you talk about Tom Brady and defensively, slowing him down, what are some of the things that you have to do as a defense to maybe make things difficult for a guy like Brady? Because, a guy like yourself, you know him pretty well because you faced him a lot of times in practice. So what are some of the things that maybe you're telling some of the newer guys, hey, here's what we have to do to make life difficult for Brady?
Yeah, I think as a defense, one of the things, we can't make it easy. I think over, the beginning of the season, we've played some younger quarterbacks, and Wilson and Tua, but now playing like a veteran like this guy's like Tom's seen every defense. He's been in the league 22 years, but we can't just make it so he knows exactly what we're in every single play, because the ball will be out in 2 seconds. It'll be a great play versus defense we're in. And then we got to get to him. We gotta get guys in his face. We gotta have pressure on him in the pocket. If he's comfortable, it's going to be hard. You're going to get a great ball every play, and they have guys that are hard to cover. They have guys that are top in their position across the board. So we can't make it easy, and then we gotta get pressure in his face and make it tough for him and try to frustrate him that way.
Devin, you bring up that 2021 group. Yesterday, when you were talking to media, you said that you guys need to find your own identity and not really rely on the accomplishments of the past. As a guy that's been in that locker room for a long time, how do you do that, especially this week with the young guys?
You got to go play to it. I think we've been talking about the things we need to do on the field, and it hasn't showed up consistently in any game this year. So I think that's what we keep talking about. We talk about doing it. Starting with practice every play, every day that we're out there, trying to keep stringing good plays together, doing the right thing, and letting that kind of cross over and lead into the game. But you can't talk about an identity or, say that it's about going and doing it. And I think this is a week that we have an opportunity to try to establish that against one of the best teams in football. So it's going to be a hard challenge. It's a big task, but it's a week where we have opportunity to get that done. So that's what we've been talking about. We've been trying to do that each day in practice and build towards the game.
Devin, one of the things that you talked about is being able to get pressure on Brady. And, it's extremely difficult to do that. It's easier said than done. But how important is it that you get pressure without maybe having to send extra guys, because they have so much talent on the offensive side of the football, and being able to get that pressure with hopefully your front four?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important every week, but especially when, you got Gronk, Godwin, AB, Mike Evans, you just have guys that are number one, targets on a lot of teams in NFL, all on one team. So you got to try to get there with the four guys, but you also got to be able to mix it up and do different things. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from going against great quarterbacks is no matter what, you can't do one thing the whole game. And I think that's going to be big for us is just whatever defense we're in, whatever call we get, is executing it at a high level and knowing that at times they're going to make plays. But we got to keep playing. We got to keep trying to make it tough. And like we've been talking about all year, we gotta do a good job of playing in the red area.
Devin, I know James White, a guy that everybody is feeling the loss there. Josh McDaniels, I think you said Josh McDaniels always says, be like James. When you look at that position, that running back position, who do you see stepping up, and is this a great opportunity for whoever that could be?
Yeah, I think it's a group effort. Guys like James that fill a lot of different roles on the team. You usually don't have one guy that can just step in and replace him. So it's really going to be everybody doing a better job and playing different roles that they haven't played, whether that's Mondre, whether that be Bolden, Damian, JJ, like all those guys. It's a good group of guys. And I would say the leader of that group has been James. So I think his presence will still be here. Obviously not on the field, but, I think as a group, those guys understand what they need to do. And, I think they're all step up as a group and not put it on one guy. And I think that's how the running back room has been this year. And in years past, it's just been a group effort when a lot of guys kind of coming together and, sharing the load of having a good backfield.
There's been a lot of speculation this week about what it is like to be coached by Bill Belichick. I just wanted to ask you, Wiggy, what do you call the Monday lowlights?
Monday lowlights.
I wanted to ask you about Bill and when you guys are looking at film, and as a veteran, does that ever become a situation where you're frustrated with the way in which Bill is when you guys are looking at film?
No, I mean, I think as Wiggy says that, it's kind of, in a joking manner that, guys through the years have come up here with. But I think Wiggy would tell you, too, it's all in the idea of getting better for whatever's in front of you. And it's kind of the build throughout the season to hopefully be in there in the last game of the year and playing for a championship. So I think a lot of people see it that way in the building and being coached by him. So it's not like a big session where he's yelling and screaming. It's just kind of, this is what needs to be fixed. This we need to correct. And I think that's kind of how it's viewed going forward of, how can we be the best team that we can be when we need it the most. And, I think through my time here, it showed up and played a part where we've been able to watch things that we didn't do well at one part of the season as it improved. And it showed up big time in some of the biggest games of the year.
Dante Scarnecchia said on this radio station last weekend that you needed to have thick skin and to play for Bill. Is that would you agree with that?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't disagree with much that Scar has to say. Probably one of the better coaches I've ever seen, and I don't play anything close to offensive line, but a great guy. I would definitely say that helps a lot. It's like being married; you need to have thick skin too.
Devin, one of the things that a lot of former players of Belichick have said, myself included, Randy Moss, Ty Law. I think the way Bill coaches, and unlike yourself, I had played for many organizations, and you've just been with Bill your whole career. But the way he coaches, I believe he gets the best out of you because he holds you accountable. And you do have to have thick skin, but it makes you a better player in the sense when you have a coach that coaches you hard. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think even when my brother got here, that was one of the things he said to me. He said he's never really sat in a meeting in the morning where the coach would be able to coach every position on the field. He could go through corrections and not have to lean on anybody else. Like he knows the techniques. He knows everything that the assistant coaches are teaching. He's like, I've never really sat in a meeting in the morning that long where a coach was just dissecting in a way down to every last detail. And I agree with you. I think we laugh and joke about those morning meetings, but no one wanted to end up making a mistake and being highlighted on the meeting. So I think it does, whether it's practice, whether it's an individual drill, whether it's a game, guys all want to put their best foot forward. I think it does come from the tough coaching. And I think once you're here for a while, you don't even think about it anymore because it's just the way that things go here.
We saw Mac Jones pretty distraught after the game on the sideline, sitting on the bench. It seemed like a lot of guys went over to try to get him up, and Bill brought him to the locker room. Have you been able to see him while you guys prepare for this matchup on Sunday, kind of be able to turn the page and get ready for the next one?
Yeah, I would say overall, I think a lot of guys, it's tough to win in this league, and when you're not winning the way you want and the way we've lost the 2 games this year, a lot of guys are down. But I think something that Mayo always talks about to not just the defense or the linebackers, but to everybody, is turning the page and moving on. And I think the way our schedule is during the week of playing Sunday, Monday, kind of coming in and then being finished with that film and moving on. So I think him with the rest of the guys, that's kind of what we've moved towards. Being done with that game on Monday and now being on to Tampa ever since, Monday night and Tuesday morning.
When it comes to Sunday night and when you run into Tom Brady, be it pregame or postgame, have you thought about what you will say to him?
Probably just, hi, how you doing?
I mean, he's a little bit hoarse. I think he has he's got some kind of an allergy or cold thing going on.
I did not know that.
It's a change of the season.
It's a change of the season.
Don't get too close.
Don't get too close to him.
Devin, you talk about your brother, right, and him coming here, and it's really interesting to me, the conversations that you have as far as Bill as a coach, because I've always wondered, some of those conversations for 2 guys, and your brother seeing a different side of Belichick. What was the thing that maybe he took away from talking to him that he took away from being coached by a guy like Bill Belichick?
I think, like you said earlier, just the consistency and the preparation that goes into every day of being here, not just coming in and trying to put your best foot forward on game day, but the actual process of doing that every day. And then obviously he's down in Miami, where I would say it's pretty consistent on the work ethic and how they prepare and what they do. So I think he's kind of stayed in that system, but I think that's definitely what stuck out to him of, every day, not just the players, not just one coach, every person that's involved, having that mindset. He said it was different than what he had saw in the past, and, I think that stuck out with him.
The happily miserable sweatshirt you were wearing yesterday during media availability, was that a nod to the media by any chance?
Nah, that's a JE11, man.
I know, it's a great sweatshirt.
Keep legends alive. Yeah, keep legends alive.
I mean, he looked pretty quick when he ran out of that tunnel on Sunday. I mean, I feel like the guy could still play.
I mean, I told him stop wasting everybody's time. He's coming back next year. He just laughed.
All right. Well, we'll let you get to work. It's a big one on Sunday. For us, it's a big one.
Yeah.
For you, it's just week 4, right? Just another regular season game, Devin McCourty.
That sounds great, Greg. You'll probably fit in well here, man.
All right. I said it well. Do your job.
Yep.
We're on to Tampa Bay, all those things. All right. Devin, we will look forward to talking to you next week.
All right. You guys have a good weekend.